Today I'm going to show you how you can connect Voiceflow to a calendar service and then use AI to automatically schedule appointments on your calendar. So today I'm going to be using two tools. The first being Voiceflow. This is where we're going to set up our chat interface and interface with the AI. And then we're going to be using cow.com, which is a free service. And we're going to be setting up a calendar on there, which we can then connect to Voiceflow, send the available times to the AI, and then the AI can go ahead and book that meeting with whoever is using the chat, place it on the schedule, send them out an invite, and get that appointment booked in on your calendar. So without further ado, let's dive right in. So what you can see on my screen right now is a project setup. So there's a link in the description for you to copy this project. It's completely free, so you can go ahead and follow along with me. So you can see there's some instructions here. So we're just going to go through them first. So we're going to sign up for a cow.com account. So you can just go in, enter your email, set up a calendar. And then the first thing that we're going to do is create an API key in our cow.com settings. So we're going to come over to the cow.com account. We're going to go to settings, API keys, and then we're going to add a new API key. And I will just set it to never expires on here. So I'll just call this Voiceflow connection, and we'll save that. So we're going to grab that API key and let's load this up here. Cow.com API key. Brilliant. So first step done. And we're also going to make a note of our cow.com username, which we can find here. Next step, we're going to find the event slug. So I'll show you where to look for that. So if you set up a kind of a demo meeting here, or the meeting that you want to use with the AI, come to preview. The slug is the bit. So this is your username, and then this is the event part of the slug. So we can just come here. And then our last step, we're looking for that event ID. Now the event ID we find by essentially coming into the meeting through cow.com, and we take this list of numbers here. And then, okay, brilliant. So I made this super simple for you guys, by the way. I'm just going to talk you through the flow though and how things are working. So the first step, we essentially want to set today's date and then set the start time of when we want to pull dates for and the end time for when we want to pull dates for, because we don't want to pull like a whole year with available dates. It's just too much for the AI to work with. So I typically work with 10 days in advance. I don't particularly want people booking further in advance into my calendar anyway, because typically if someone's got a problem to solve, I want to solve quickly, I want to chat to them quickly. And yeah, so I don't want to be booking events really far in advance where possible. So what we've got here, essentially we can set the date, and this code's all written out for you. And then you can see down here, we're using the start time as today's date, but we're just putting it in the correct format. And then here we're calculating the end time as 10 days after the current date. So if you wanted to change that, all you would have to do is change this number. If you would want it maybe like 7 days or even further, I would just be wary putting it too far in advance, because the AI will struggle to process so many dates and times at the same time. Cool. And then next step, we are asking what time zone they're in. So essentially we can pull times in the correct format and actually communicate properly with them and give them the times in their correct time zone. Here we've got failsafe. Essentially, if they provide a time zone be responded with yes. If they haven't, then we keep pushing for that time zone, and it keeps coming through this step to see whether they've provided the time zone or not. Once they have provided it, we convert it to the TZ format, which is essentially what cal.com want us to provide them. Once we've done that, and this is the first step of what we need to essentially add in here. So we make an API call to cal.com, and here we see username list. So we need to go ahead and grab our username we saved earlier. Ooh. Let's try that again. There we go. And then the event type slug right there. And then we scroll down and we've got the API key. And this one will be for a step further down the line. Cool. So we can put that in there. Awesome. And then essentially what happens when we send this off, cal.com sends us massive JavaScript response. So what we need to do is clean that up so the AI can actually use that data efficiently to book the meeting. So essentially we want to set it to just a variable called clean times, and we can give that to in the next step. This code already written out for you. It's essentially just going to pass through the JavaScript response and then put it into a comma separated list of available times. So once we have that, we can actually book the meeting. So there's a prompt written out here. Again, already done. So we're letting the AI know we want it to schedule appointments conversationally using the available times found in the clean times. Begin each interaction with, do you have a preferred day or time in mind, and add nothing further. I had some issues with it not quite getting what tomorrow is, so we just remind it that of today's date and that tomorrow might not be available because it was viewing tomorrow as the next available day of bookings. So that just helps to fix that. Upon agreeing, we confirm with the user by asking if they wish to book the specific date and time, and we again ensure that it matches one of the times in clean times. And then once the final confirmation is received, we essentially let them know, hey, let's get this sorted. Let me get your contact details so I can send across an invite. And then there's just some more guidelines in here as well to make sure it works efficiently. Now, essentially what happens is we continue down this loop. So we capture the response, we send it back. So this has memory on it. So it's got its prompts here. It's going to continue to come through this conversation and book that appointment. And then we've got a step which essentially says if the AI's last message contains the phrase contact details, to move on. So we've got here, upon agreeing, it says perfect, let me get your contact details. Sometimes it phrases it slightly differently, but always says contact details. So once that's said by the AI, we'll move on to the next step and set that appointment date and time in the correct format. It's going to ask the name, check if it's actually responded with the name. If not, it will ask again for the name, same with email. And we ask if they want to share anything to help prepare for the meeting, so they can share any information if they want to. And we're going to confirm their details are correct. They can always change them if they're not correct. And then we go ahead and book the appointment. So again, let's get our API key in there. And then we're going to want our event type ID as well. Just in there. Cool. So we can go ahead and publish this. Okay, so time to test it out. We're going to run a test on Voiceflow. It's going to give us all the kind of variable information as it happens. So you can see it's set like today's date, start time, end time. And let's see how it works. So you can see here it's fetched all the times and set the time zone as well. So I can say when's next available. So tomorrow, I'll say, how about Friday? So the next available slot. So it's remembered when I'm asked when's next available, and it's brought it back to that. So it's going to be very conversational in the way that it books appointments, and you can always play around with the prompt as well. Any of this is really designed to essentially fit into a project, and you can make it your own. It's quite bare bones as is. So I'll just say sure. So that has triggered. We've got the contact details in there. So appointment has been booked. Check your emails. Let me load this up. So you can see we got that appointment. It's come straight through. Awesome. So that's essentially done. Yeah, so you can copy this into your Voiceflow account. Literally just change those few bits as detailed here, and I've made a few notes of where to do it, and you should be good to go. So yeah, again, it's quite vanilla as is, but you can go ahead and make this a bit more conversational or make it your own, dependent on the sort of appointment that you're booking. We do have integrations built out as well for like rescheduling, cancellations, and things a little bit more in depth. Kind of just strip things back a little bit here, but if you guys want to see something that's a little bit more in depth, just let me know, just so I know what sort of content that you want to see, and I can put something a bit more in depth together here. But this as it is works great. We use it. It means you can essentially just have appointments rolling in on autopilot using AI. You don't have to send people to like a Calendly link or anything like that. And if you've not heard of Cal.com anyway, it's better than Calendly. You don't even need a Calendly Pro subscription. The free version of Cal.com pretty much it does it all anyway. But yeah, other than that, I hope this has been helpful, and any questions at all, just let me know in the comments and I'll try to dive on those as soon as I can.